Perfect. Can you hear me? I think that's the most important question in the beginning. Yes?
I hope.
Can they hear us? I think that's the
Was ich nicht sehe, ist, dass es verschoben, also dass es ein bisschen dauert, aber...
Yeah, let's wait a second until we know if...
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So welcome everyone. So yeah, thanks a lot that you take the time to join our live stream. I mean, for everyone that doesn't have the time to join, everything will be recorded, and so you can watch it later on YouTube. Today it's mostly about giving you an update where we are in the process, show you especially this one here. So the review copy for the expansion, explain you a little bit about the mechanics and some other decisions we made, show you different modular animal exchange options that we have and why some of them won't work and what is the solution that we are going for now. And yeah, looking ahead to the Kickstarter campaign. I think that's these are like the main points. If you have any questions during the whole stream, just ask. Samuel will then, I think, put a highlight on them. And then I see them and I can answer them. And yeah, but I try my best to summarize everything and to not forget something. So yeah, let's first start with like the main thing. So I think last week we received, or was it in the beginning of this week, we received the review copy. So this is very, very close to the final expansion. Of course, the stretch goals aren't included. And there are like some placeholders of artworks and stuff. But like see this as like 95% finished. So as you can see, the box is quite the same size, exactly the same size as the base game, because it needs space for the expansion components, but also for the additional animal pack. So all of this finds space inside here. And that's also the reason that we don't need like an outer big box, because this one is exactly the same size as the base game. So you have two large boxes that are full of stuff. And I think it's not more like efficient to put these two large boxes than in an even larger box. So, okay, so let's open it. I mean, that's the lid. So when you, so this one we already opened and we already sorted everything well. But as with the base game, you will have again these bags here, these paper bags, and in all of them you can find the wooden components. We then have a bag for the Vivarium species. So I will maybe talk a bit more about them later, but I mean, these are like these small species that you chose. For no worries, this is a placeholder artwork. It's not a species that will be in the final game, but the artists weren't finished in time, and so we had to reuse some of the animals from this map. So for example, this species here is here. It's a bit of a trick, but it does the job very well. And I mean, this will be the rainbow lorikeet in the end. And now it's, I don't know how it's called in English, but we always tried to choose a very similar species so that it makes sense. So you have the bag with which gives space to all the Vivarium species. Then you have the Vivariums. So these are these boards. At the moment, they all look the same. But due to a stretch goal, if we reach it, we can make them all a bit different, like we did this the last time with the zoo boards. So I will talk about the Vivarium a bit later. So what do we also have? So this time we will have a plastic bag. The last time it got forgotten from the manufacturer for the enclosure tiles. So you get the same amount of enclosure tiles, I think maybe even a bit more than last time. So they have a bag. Perfect for this. This I will explain in a second here. Then at the moment you get so in the expansion at the moment is like a normal sheet, like the last time, animal exchange sheet, but I will talk about the animal exchange in a second. and also different solutions. So maybe your final version won't have this inside. Maybe it will, because we need to make it modular. But yeah, in a second I will get to this. This review copy, it won't be the case with your one, also includes the updated rulebook. I mean, we put a lot of time in the updated rulebook of the base game. We included it so that the reviewers can also have a look at this updated rulebook and also tell the people if it's really better, if it does a better job, right? So it's now even 4 pages more, but I think it does a very good job in explaining the game and make it more accessible to learn it, but also to pick the game up after some months and to find the rules even better, right? We will definitely link this in the Kickstarter campaign so that you can check it out. And it will also be possible to get this updated rulebook in the Pledge Manager. We won't include it in the Kickstarter campaign because it makes it too complicated, especially for new backers. They won't understand it why there are 2 rulebooks. So they anyway will get this. And you will have the option to add this for a very low price so that it's just cost, so that we can cover the costs. But you can also, of course, download it for free, right? Download it and print it yourself. But as you can see, I mean, we changed a lot. Now you have these icons here, right? So the red one, for example, are very important rules. The blue ones are more like background information. There is now a component anatomy where we explain all the components in detail and what you find on them. This was missing in the first rule book, and we just noticed it's important. And also we linked all the pages a bit more in the whole rule book. So for example, if you see something here on the scoreboard, then there is always a page written here, and then you can go to this page and read what this special icon or this icon or symbol is about. And we also added a glossary with all the important words so that you can also find it like this. So like I said, the accessibility is improved a lot. I mean, we invested like a month or even more in this thing. It's huge, and I think it will do a way better job. But I also have to say the rules are the same. So the rules stay the rules. We made maybe like 2 or 3 absolutely minor changes, but in general, or clarifications, but in general, it's exactly the same rules that you already have. What we also did is the solo sheet is now separate. I think this makes it easier for the solo players. But like I said, this you can download or you can add it in the Pledge Manager, but it won't be in your expansion. It's just here in the expansion so that reviewers can evaluate it. Is there a question? The rulebook is the only change from the previous campaign. So it's not, I mean, this, today I started designing the Kickstarter campaign and also added some FAQ because I already expected a question like this. So there are like, this is the major change, completely the major thing. So besides this, what we changed is just we found some typos. Some minor ones. For example, on the overview card, there was written that you take the animals in spring, I think, and it should say summer, or it was summer and it should say spring. This typo, for example, was corrected. Maybe there was another typo somewhere, but it's fixing typos, but especially this, because we love the product. I mean, we love this game and we are very convinced about its quality and about also the gameplay. So we didn't need to change a lot, but we also noticed that the rule book, a lot of people struggle with it because it's a heavy game, and so we invested a lot of time in this. But I mean, yeah, one event card was also changed, but because we use the artwork now in the expansion because it's just a better match. But if you take the expansion, you also get these event cards. So just to make it 100% clear, if you take the expansion, you get everything. If there is like a component that we had to change, it will also be in the expansion. The only exception is the rulebook, which you can download for free, or you can add it in the Pledge Manager. So that's the rulebook. So then we have a new rulebook. So can we get these cards replaced? I mean, well, that's a good question. I didn't thought about this because it's just a typo, and if I have to think, I mean, you have to see if you would come to our booth at Spielessen, you can have these cards. I don't care. I mean, you can have them for free. But you have to see the fulfillment will be so complicated. If I have to send individual cards to individual backers, it's already complicated with base game, expansion, additional species pack. Then some of you want the rule book. Already this is from a cost perspective, nothing we will make any money with. It's okay, because you already supported us the first time, so totally fine for this. But I mean, if we now have to, I also have to be honest, I don't know where I corrected typos, right? And it was also only very little, right? If you come to Spielessen or know someone that comes to Spielessen, we give you the updated components if we know which components you want. But otherwise, it's impossible. It will be, my brain will explode if I have to fulfill such a campaign. And then, we have the expansion rulebook. It's way shorter than the base game. It's still 16 pages, but are not scared, because there is, for example, again, the game overview, but now with the red parts where you see when something changed due to the expansion. I mean, there is again also the specs, right? So the core rules are way less, of course, than the base game. And we, of course, try now this new design that we developed for the base game, we now also put in the expansion rulebook, right? We, of course, learned from our mistakes and now made a better rulebook from the beginning, right? So then we have the animal market. The animal market, it is now double layered. If you see that, yeah, you see that for sure. It's now double layered. I will explain this in a second, why it is now double layered and how this works. But you get this double layered animal market with the new species. And then, okay, now it gets complicated. Because you get, again, all these tuck boxes, right? It's a bit scary to do that, because everything could fall out. So you get, again, all the tuck boxes, the same amount like the first time. Some are not filled at the moment, because these are for the additional species, because you want to put your additional species somewhere, your wolves and the walruses and whatever. So, of course, you also need space for them. So we thought about this. But, yeah, you get, again, these tuck boxes. Can I see the core species, please? Yeah, just a second. So yeah, so this is, it's a bit complicated to get the stuff out. So just wait. Okay, so then we also have event cards, of course, and new donor cards. These ones here, and you see here, this one, oh, wait, where is it? So this one we now use for the Vivarium, because it's a very good match. For the artwork matches very well the reptiles. So we will use this one now for a new effect. But in the old game, you now get this card in it instead. And so the base game stays completely the same. We just want to use this particular artwork for the expansion, because it's a perfect match from our perspective. And yeah, that's a koala check. And then we have, of course, the animal cards. It's, again, a big bunch of animal cards. And I mean, you already saw the artworks online. I think I posted all of them. But yeah, you just get more animal cards like the last time. And there will also be 4 overview cards. Every player gets one with the new expansion rules. So I will put them again inside here. Right. And then, there are also more buildings, but yeah, someone wanted to see with the core species, it's not that spectacular. I mean, we have, for example, here the emu, right? Then we have an armadillo here. I think it's a 6-banded one. Then we have the giant anteater again, and it's in the game here because we now made it, it can switch, right? It can be dry forest and rainforest. This is a new mechanic in the game, that some animals can be placed in several biomes. So we again invested quite a lot of money in artwork. That wouldn't have been necessary, but I think it's way nicer if you directly see it. Yeah, it's the same with the Coati, right? So you have a dry forest side and you have a rainforest side. I think I especially like the Coati. It's a very beautiful one. So these are the dry forest ones. Then we have here the Guanaco, and we have here the Nanu, or Rhea, you call it in English, Siberian crane. And this one is also again in the box, the Tundra Swan. And it's now also, it can also switch sides. Yeah. So yeah, I won't show all of them, but you can, I think it's already online. You can see all the artworks. I think they are there. I already showed them in one of the announcements, the whole market. I'm quite sure it's there. If not, I will post it. And yeah, someone also discovered we never talked about this in the announcement. So we now have eggs. It's not for the birds, but for the reptiles. Because we wanted, of course, to make also the feeling a bit different, right? And so now reptiles have eggs, and they are gender neutral. Because reptiles have this special thing that the gender, the sex of their babies is determined by temperature. So if it's a bit warmer or a bit colder, all the offspring will be male or female. So you can decide yourself if you want male or female offspring. And that's the reason why there are eggs for the reptiles. But they are called not eggs, because that would be strange with the birds. They are called reptile eggs. So these are reptile eggs. And then we also have this one here. I think you also spotted it in the in a photo. And this is a reptile house. It's as a reference, I used the Knoxville, I think it's called Arc Center or something, Knoxville reptile house. You will find it if you search it online. And it looks very much like this. And so the reptiles are in this regard also different, exactly the Arc Center. And they are also different in this regard, that they don't need retreats, but they need these houses, and they are not placed on the reptiles enclosure tiles, but on the subboard directly. So yeah, so that's this one. So the reptiles are definitely distinctly different than all the other animals. And we, of course, also have all these printed meeples. I mean, so this is now the deluxe version, of course. So, for example, here we have a crocodile, a printed one, or the cassowary. It will be 3-color printed in deluxe directly, because I think it looks way nicer. And I would not know which color I would have taken if I only have 2 colors, right? So, yeah, there are a lot of animals. I mean, you will also see in the campaign, you already saw them. I already shared them online, like in the Discord, right? So you know all of these. I also now have, that's a new thing. We now have these meeples already for the additional species. So here we have a male walrus, or we have, where do we have the wolf? Yeah, here, for example, you see the wolf, right? Or the ray, this white spotted ray. Of course, it's the unprinted version, right? So yeah, that's pretty much everything that it's important here. Yeah, you also have houses, of course, new buildings, right? So yeah, then now let's. So does anyone have a question about what I showed here, or about these components? Because then I would go to the next step and explain you where we are with the modular exchange. What will the manatees be categorized as ungulates because they're relative? No, manatees are just water. We will do the same with platypus. I mean, yeah, from a biological perspective, they would be closest to an elephant. But we always see it from a keeping perspective. So which animals, for example, a capybara, is a rodent, right? But it's very close from the keeping to a tapir, to ungulates. So it will go as an ungulate. But for example, a manatee is a completely different animal. I mean, it's closest most probably to a green sea turtle or something, but it's definitely not a reptile, right? So it's just water. Same with the platypus, because platypuses are, I mean, it's a merge between a mammal and a bird. And so it's very complex, so it's also water. What was the building called? Vivarium. So we have Vivarium, that's the big building, if you mean the reptile houses. And it's referenced from the Arc Center in Knoxville. You can Google it and you will find it there. So, okay, then let's go to the next big point about modular animal exchange. I think that's a big one. So at the moment, so as you, so for what do we need a modular animal exchange? Yeah, it's very important because we know that we think that you want to mix old and new species, right? I think that's a big need in the community, that you want to be able to do that. Is the reptile house different from the animal house? From the animal house. Which animal house do you mean? Animal house. So you mean the retreat, the brown one? Or do you mean the vivarium? So it's the same as a retreat, but it's not placed on the enclosure tiles. It's completely something different than the vivarium, right? In the beginning, the vivarium also had like a house that you could place on the zoo board, but that didn't work. It made it overly complicated. And I mean, that was also a goal from us, to not make the game more complicated, right? We'll have the deluxe version of the additional species pack. Yeah, the additional species will only be deluxe. It's already from the fulfillment point complicated to have standard, deluxe, then expansion, deluxe. I mean, the expansion in deluxe and standard, the base game in standard and deluxe. And then if we now also the additional species pack, the additional species pack will only be deluxe. I just have here the standard version because it's easier to produce, of course, but there will only be deluxe. So let's go back. So you want to mix your species, I think, because you want, of course, to maybe also bring the elephant into this game. And especially for the additional species, you somehow have to be able to integrate them on your animal exchange. So for this to be possible, we need to fix two things. We need to fix the animal exchange, and we need to fix the animal exchange sheet, right? So let's first come to the easier one, because this one we already fixed. So now it's double layered, right? And in your game, in the expansion, you will already have these cards here. These are the base game animals. So for example, let's take this orangutan. You can see it has a cutout. Wonderful. And now you can just place it here. Tack, and it's inside, right? And here, if you have nails, then you can take it out again. I'm not able to do that, but someone with nails can do it. And for this, we also left this cutout here so that you can touch it with your finger. And I mean, the same would be possible, just a second, with the level 1 and level 2 species, right? Again, here we have a cutout. And now you can just place it, for example, here. Check, and it's inside, right? Perfect. And no, the board won't fit sleeved cards, because you have to see, I mean, that would be, we can't do both. We have to make sure that it fits and it doesn't wobble around. And I can't make it a bigger so that the ones with sleeves, and I mean, you also need to see through it, through the hole. So you can sleeve them, but when you use them, you can only do this without sleeves, right? But I mean, then nobody also touches them. They are placed here in the board, and then nobody touches them, so they won't get damaged, and then you can put them back in the sleeves. So it should be fine. So how far along are campaign preparation coming along? Like, how are the stretch goals planned? I will comment to that later. So yeah, so for everyone now should be clear how you get the base games and the additional species. Why does orangutan have a hyphen in it? Ah, okay, yeah, that's a good one. That's a typo. Because, yeah, that's a good one. Here is a typo. Here. That's good. I will fix that. Yeah, because in Swiss, in German, you have a hyphen in it. But yeah, spotted well. But no worries. All the components, because we submit them to mass production, are again also reviewed by a lot of people. So no, are not scared about that. All the base game animals are present with this card. Yeah, all the base games present. All 24. You have them in the expansion. So here, you can already. It's a bit difficult to show because I mean. Yeah, but you see, and they are also, it's also important that you can, oh, maybe just wait. Oh no, it's not a typo. I forgot we made German and English. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, you can switch the card. It's German and English. And so this one is the German side here, Borneo orangutan. And this one is yours, right? Perfect. So, yeah, so I forgot about this, but it's with all the cards as well. Großer Panda is German. Giant panda, yeah, perfect. But anyway, we will we will check everything in detail before mass production, of course. But yeah, okay. So so this is how we will fix the modular market, right? So, the animal exchange. So now about the animal exchange for the sheet, right? Because the sheet is a bit more complicated. So at the moment, the solution that we at the moment present that we chose for the review copy is that you have so because it's a bit more complicated to explain, maybe I have to make even a bit more. If you place that, for example, the snow leopard here that I can't take out because I don't have nails good. If you place it on an animal that is also that has the same like group size. For example, if you would have replaced the Komodo dragon, which is also a loner, with the snow leopard, you can still play with the completely normal animal exchange sheet, right? Because the animal exchange sheet is made for loners and for the needs of the Komodo dragon, and it has exactly the same needs as the snow leopard, right? So this, you can just replace it and play with the exactly the same sheet. This is also written in the rulebook. It's no problem. As long as you replace animals with each others that have exactly the same group size and group needs, you don't have to exchange something with the animal exchange sheet. But sometimes, I mean, it gets very complicated. Maybe you want to play with half the base game animals and with half the expansion animals, and then it will be complicated for you to find the perfect spot. So somehow you need also to be able to change the animal exchange sheet, right? So that's the reason for this. So at the moment, the solution that the reviewers got is the following. So you have expansion side, right? An expansion side of the animal exchange sheet, and you also, for example, here capybara, saltwater crocodile, jaguar, whatever. And then you also have a modular side. So I created a modular side that works pretty much with all the species, right? So that's at the moment, of course, a low barrier solution. And because you also have to see that a lot of people just want to play and they don't want to make it too complicated. So this is a solution that works very well because these demands and supplies work with all species, species with smaller, with loners, and animals that lives in groups. But we are, of course, also thinking, hey, can we do it? Can we even find a more elaborate solution? So, and we tried a lot of solutions. I can show you some of them. And we are still working on this. But before the campaign, we will have a final solution that we will present there, of course, so that you know what you are getting. So what we tried, so one thing that we tried, where are the cards? So you would get events demand cards, supply and demand cards like this. So for every species, you would get one of these, right? And so one thing that we tried is with a double layer market sheet, right? The problem is that it needs to be quite thin, because if it's too thick, you won't see well through the first double layer into the second double layer. It's just too much. It will get shadowy, and you don't see it very clear. The problem with this one is that the cards just don't hold. they just shift out when you move the animal exchange board on them. It can just happen. And then it would be, of course, quite a pain because you moved it. Everything is in position now. A card moved away. Now you have to lift it up. So this solution doesn't work. It's we tried it. So second solution would be this one. It's harder to see, I think. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you also see it's a bit double layer, but you have to see that with this one, you can shift in the animal exchange, like you shift them in.
Like a pocket.
Like in a pocket, right? Here, you could just shift them somehow. So they are here a bit less. So the distance here is not that low, like not that wide. Here it's wider. And then you could just shift them in. It doesn't work. So just to make it easy, it doesn't work. It's a complete pain. And the cards rip on the side very, very easily. So it sounds good. It sounds wonderful, but it's horrible. It doesn't work at all. And even to get the cards in is a pain. And just they also wiggle a bit, right? They are not in place. And then when you shift again the board, so forget about this one. It's horrible. We hated it directly. And then we have this one. It's and we have this one. It's also hard to see, but this has like sleeves here, right? You see that? Yeah, you see that. Perfect. So this one, from a 1 point, it's good because you can just sleeve in here the demand cards. Just give me a second. Yeah, you can just sleeve the cards in, right? Problem number one is that it's plastic, and we don't, at Treaser, we don't like plastic, but it's a solution that would work. So I prefer a solution that would work over a solution that doesn't work. There is still a bit of a problem because this one is folded, and plastic doesn't like to be folded, so it rips apart very easily. Right? So maybe we have to cut it earlier, but if we cut it earlier, right, so make the middle pocket not that long, then it also, the cards wiggle again a bit more. So at the moment, this is a possibility that we could, an option that we could get to a point where it's working, but it's plastic. So at the moment, we are working on a last solution, and I think it's the one that most probably will be the one that makes it into the game. As you may know, we also produce puzzles. So what we will do is, and we are at the moment getting the quote for it and see, so that you can puzzle your own market sheet together. And just so all these will be one puzzle piece. So you don't have to solve a very big puzzle, but I think it's very easy. It can shift around. I mean, it's a puzzle. It will be very sturdy in place, right? And you can't do much wrong. All the pieces will fit together with all the pieces. So you can just puzzle together your market sheet and it will work very good from what we see at the moment. I don't have the sample already here, but I think from everything I saw, it's at the moment the solution that can't get damaged very easily, that will that doesn't wiggle around, that doesn't use plastic, and that does everything as we want it to be, right? But yeah, at least, I mean, the side with the general demands also works, right? That's already a good thing. So we have anyway something that works. I could also include a second sheet with even more like demands so that you have more pages to choose from, right? But yeah, we will try if this puzzle solution will work. But yeah, we are at the moment working on this one, and we are very confident. So, okay. So now it's already 36 minutes. That's good. That's good. But yeah, I mean, it's also a lot to show, right? And I mean, when we do a live stream, we want to show you a bit of everything. I mean, just maybe a short, because I already said I will talk about this one. It's the Vivarium. So what solution in the end did we choose for the Vivarium? So we started at a point where we wanted to place it on the zoo board and where it has effects on the animals and everything. And this was way too complicated. Even I and Samuel had problems with doing it. Our normal builds were completely destroyed. It didn't feel well, right? and didn't feel good, and it was too complicated even for pro players like we are. I mean, nobody knows the game better than we and than us, and so we went away from this idea, and we tried a lot, right? And because I mean, we don't want to make it too complicated. We want to include these animals. They should have effects, but not too strong effects, right? So now you have everyone gets a board like this. And so always in the end of autumn, you can buy up to 2 Vivarium species. Again, you do it by means of snake draft, right? And they are already placed there in the beginning of the year, so you already see which species are available, and then you can place them here in these rows. Always when you finish one of these rows, in the end of the game, you get a popularity point. Here in the top row, there is something special. You also need to place reptile eggs here. So it's like a breeding center where reptile eggs are bred. And so this row is a bit special. And so you draw these. So you then buy these Vivarium species. And what is important is, so they have tiny bonuses. So for example, this is half a popularity point. If you have 2 of them, you get a popularity point, or here you have some that give buzz, or what do we also have? We have education points, right? And so what is important is, in a row, there needs to be always a common theme, right? So it can be the same biome. So it could be, for example, all rainforest animals. So for example, this one, now it gets even more complicated because I only have 2 hands, right? So these 2 would have a common theme, and this common theme is rainforest. So it can be the same biome. They can have the same order. So all, for example, insects, invertebrates, or all birds. Or they can have the same bonus. So all species with education. And so you fill up these rows. They give you some tiny points, and you can score and make these little combos. And that's what this Vivarium is about. So it, from my perspective and Samuel's perspective, it makes the game, I would not say easier, but it gives even a bit more forgiving, because you can get this 1 or 2 points even after your building phase, and with 1 or 2 money you can already get them. And so you can, if you are a bit unlucky and exactly 1 point behind, right? So you can still you can maybe gain a point. So we really liked with the solution we came up. And so we have 48 different species, right? And I know a lot of you, and also Samuel, want more of these Vivarium species, right? The problem is, at the moment, the back we need for the number of players, because the number of Vivarium species in the game differentiate. How is it said? Differentiate. Yeah, that differs from the number of players, right? Some so you need less for 2 players, and so we can put more on the backside, right? And I mean, to include more is also not really an option, because it's important, the number. So the number of tiles is important, and also their mix is important, right? Of course, we will try our best. I mean, it's in our interest also to include more species. But at the moment, I don't see a simple solution, because, of course, I could give you double amount of small species, and you just play with these or these, right? But I mean, you also have to see that's a lot of waste of material that a lot of players won't use, really. And so, I'm not that into that. And what was the butterfly? It's just it's a placeholder again, right? It's again here on the map. I don't know. I think it's the placeholder for the Hercules beetle. Yeah, I think it's the Hercules beetle. So this is about So that's everything about the review copy that now is here. So this chaos here. And so that's all about the review copies. Any more questions at the moment about the review copies? And did you collect some questions, or is there something? Yes.
Yeah. National cooperation with the modular market.
Good question. National cooperation with the modular market. That's a good question. Thanks for this one. You can place these ones here, right? So you can place them on top or place them on the side. You even have one to completely hide one, right? So with these, it should be easily possible that you add the ones that you want to add, or it's unfortunately not possible to also make it double layer there because we simply don't have enough space. I mean, if I would be able to do it, I would do it. But if you see, it's already very, very tight here, and I need at least so much space in between, and it's simply not possible for the whole design that it would work like this. Yeah, but I mean, it's also not a gigantic problem. You can just place the ones that you have on top of the others, right? So yeah, this came out. Okay, yeah, perfect. And then any more questions that you noted?
No.
Okay. So we won't get any more Vivarium species. So the thing is, we are still searching for solutions. I know that especially you want a lot of more Vivarium species, and if you now know the problem that we have, and if you come up with a great solution, wonderful. We of course will also think about, because I think it would be a great stretch goal, right? I mean, it's in our best interest. But at the moment, I don't have like a finished solution that I can present to you, because there is simply not a perfect one, right? How are campaign scenarios coming along? So regarding scenarios and campaigns, this is still work in progress. We were in contact with someone that developed the scenario with monkeys. I think that's a good one that we could also like somehow link in the rulebook. We are also in connection with some more people, so it's definitely someone that, but it's not yet. There is nothing finished to present in this regard. So, but I mean, what I also have to say with the modular animal exchange of the expansion, you already get 24 new species, so a completely new scenario. And since you can completely exchange, like can mix your own species together, you can create your own national parks, you can do whatever you want. I mean, you can also bring into play the additional species. There are so many possibilities, right? That you yourself can already create so many scenarios without having like a big effort to do. You can just put together your own market with only carnivores and monkeys and play it. You can do the same with other species. So we still, of course, try to do something in this regard. But you also have to see our team is not gigantic, and we have to focus first on the most important stuff. And this is especially that this review copy now lies next to me. How far along are campaign preparations coming along? Yeah, this I will in a second. What was the other? Oh, and for the initial species on the model market, same as the national park. Yeah, you can just place the ones that you want on top or next. I mean, you can just prepare them. What we did when we used it, we just placed the ones that are in the game. We placed at the top or on top of the ones that are not in the game. Yeah, so there is our main focus was definitely that the main species get into the game. With the co-species is also that many, I mean, as you know, they are not completely clones of one another, but there we don't have that many stats to play with, right? So it's not a gigantic difference if you play with the greater flamingo or the hornbill, right? They have exactly the same stats. And and also if you want, for example, to play also with savanna animals, you can just place them on tops and everyone will know. And I mean, it's also like this. I mean, the expansion, especially the modular animal exchange, is something for pro players, right? That already played a lot of the game. So if you tell them, hey, now these are the species that are in the game that we will use, everyone will get that. And I mean, they also don't have a demand or a supply. They also don't have a price, right? So you can just place them there ready and everyone will know, hey, these are the ones that are in play or these are not the ones that are in play, right? What will the price of the expansion be? What will the price of all in be? That's not yet defined. I'm still, since we still don't have the quote for the puzzle animal exchange sheet, I can't say that. I mean, the base game will still be the same price, most probably around the same price like last time. The expansion will be below. I mean, today in the Discord, I already wrote it will be somewhere between 65 and 75 Swiss francs. As in comparison, the standard version of the base game was 80 francs in the last campaign, so it will definitely be the lower, but I can't tell exactly where we are at the moment, and so I can also not say what will be the full pledge, right? And it also depends there. Do you have standard, or do you have deluxe with with additional animals or not, right? But yeah, I mean, like with the first game, as you definitely will know, the ratio from what you get to the price you paid, I think, was a very good one. I think everyone that we saw until now told us it's a very fair price, and we will do exactly the same with the expansion and the additional species pack, right? So in the end, it's definitely not free, but it will be a fair price. This I can promise. Yes. Okay. So so where so the last, let's say, 5 minutes is about just tell you where we are at the moment and what are like the steps we are or that are still ahead of us. So the advertisement is at the moment going ongoing on social media. Maybe you also at one point saw an advertisement of us. Yeah, so this is ongoing. We are like controlling it every day. So what are the rates? How much do we spend? But yeah, until now we already spent several thousands. I can already tell you this one. So we invest a lot also from our side, so that this will be a very successful campaign. Then at the moment, the last Vivarium species are finished. So in the campaign, you will see all the finished ones, of course. I mean, from a game mechanics perspective, everything is done. It's just last artworks that have to be finished so that I can paste them and then also show them in the campaign. Yes, and yeah, the major point for the next 2 weeks. I mean, we will launch as announced on July 2nd at 2 p.m. Central European summertime. But we will, of course, I mean, we will make an announcement short before we launch, so you will be informed, but it will be the 2nd of July. This is like in 2 weeks and 2 days, I think. And until then, I will, over the weekend, I will now finish the Kickstarter campaign. I will then also make the shipping calculations. That's also always a big one. As soon as we have the quotes, we will set the final quote. We also will set the prices. So that will also be part of this. And yeah, so over the weekend, in the next 2 or 3 days, I will finish this. And then we also have to finish, we have to film. So we will make a rules video for the expansion, like we did for the base game. And we will also yeah, of course, we also need a Kickstarter video. We already have the animated trailer in the beginning, but we still also need to make a shot. We need to make some shots with Samuel and me and some of the components where we explain, especially people that don't know us, who we are, what we are doing, what's in the game, what can you get in this campaign. Yeah. So next week filming, and then yeah, the last week before the campaign will be especially focused on marketing. So just to make everything ready, make the launch ready, inform all the people that need to be informed, get shout outs ready from important people. Yeah. So yeah, and as mentioned in the last announcement, if you know people, if you if you are active in social media groups or like in local board game groups or in local WhatsApp board game groups, just on Reddit, Instagram, Facebook, Board Game Geek. If you are active member there, then please share with them our photos, the news about our campaign, the campaign launch link, right? URL. So really, every small amount of spreading the word is highly appreciated and really helps us out a lot, right? It's not just that I say that, it's just really that we need every single one on board. And if this goes well, I'm also very confident that we will get some stretch goals done. For example, that males and female meeple again get a different look, or that some of the meeples even get a multicolored print. Or yeah, we also have some other cool ideas. And I mean, as mentioned before, some of you definitely want 1 or 2 or 3 more species in the game. So we will definitely also consider that. But yeah, it heavily depends also on the launch of the Kickstarter campaign, how it's going on then in the next couple of days. Yeah, so like last time. But I can guarantee that Samuel and I really give our very, very best, and also invest a lot of time and money in this. Yes, so that it's successful. Yeah, do we have any open questions? So if someone has a question, then now would be like the last moment to ask, or like the last moment in this live stream to ask. I mean, more questions you can definitely also ask on Discord. How is the weather over there? It's gray. It's gray and then cloudy. That's it's not raining, and that's a surprise because it rained like a ton in the last couple of weeks. Any other questions, especially Zoo Tycoon related ones? Same here. Yeah, the weather is wonderful at the moment here. No, but yeah, thanks a lot that you joined. Yeah, wonderful. Around the world, it's just rainy. Hello, is there anything new regarding co-op mode? So this is something my brain can't think of any more questions to ask. Okay. Hello, is there anything regarding the co-op mode? Yeah, so regarding co-op mode, it goes in the same direction like the scenarios. It's in the, so we are at the moment in contact with some people that already created scenarios, that are good in creating scenarios. It's just that so the big barrier, or like hurdle, or how you want to call it, with all these things is that Zoo Tycoon is a competitive game. Right? It also has a lot of pros when you play it competitive, because you take away the animals from each other and stuff like it. If it's not like played like this, then it's just played a bit like a puzzle, I would say, right? You just puzzle together the solution. And this makes it a bit more complicated, because like in the core, it's a competitive game that wants to be, that players are not super competitive, but a bit competitive, right? And so it's definitely not easy. And also what people told us with which we talked, right? It's not that easy to create these solutions for such a game. But yeah, we definitely have it on our list. It's something we will definitely also do as soon as the campaign preparations are finished. But I think it will also not, that's also important. I think it will also not, so the outcome of the campaign will be the same if we all, it's like with the last time, when you remember when we did the Zoo Tycoon campaign, from the beginning, there was no solo mode. During the campaign, we then got a lot of questions regarding this. Also, solo designers contacted us and stuff like this. And so in the end, we could say, yeah, it's solo, and then some people joined, but it also didn't have like a gigantic effect. With this, it will be the same. So as soon as we have time to also focus on this, especially since it's a thing that is important to some, but not for like the majority of people, and we will definitely focus on this and see if we can do something. But yeah, no worries. It's on our list. It's something, just something that has not the highest priority right now in front of the start, because things like the additional species plaque, the Vivarium, how this is working, this review copy, all the modular market, the modular animal exchange, they just have way more weight and importance for a lot of people. So it's just that we have to set priorities. But yeah, we definitely have this on our to-do list, right? Will they trust it to anyone else other than Teresa? Yeah, I don't know. That's something you have to decide. Good. I think, was there? Oh, hate to repeat this question again, since you seem to get it a lot, but it's possible to then I think, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. That's good that we can include it in the live stream, because a lot of people ask this. So what's about the dinosaurs? So where do I start? It's not a long thing, no worries. It's so what we decided, Samuel and I, is there will only be one expansion for Zoo Tycoon, and that's this one, right? Because now we included just everything that we think that is valid and has some value also for you, the customers, the backers, that also will bring you a lot of joy and bring you also new stuff. But it was already hard, I have to admit, to develop these new mechanics, because Zoo Tycoon, at one point you just get to limits, right? I could easily clone the animals and just make more cards with the same stats, but at some point you just, you repeat yourself, right? The cards are too similar to each other, and that's something that we don't want to do. But dinosaurs are also different enough. I mean, they have no conservation, for example, right? That's they are all extinct. So what we at the moment are doing, and also our team member Ricarda is working on this, is a standalone Zoo Tycoon game with a Zoo Tycoon like feeling. So the animal cards, for example, they will be quite similar, but there will also be completely different mechanics. For example, digging sites, right? So that you can get fossils from there, and then you of course need to make research to get them alive, right? It's just all these things, they are not in Zoo Tycoon. So I know many of you would maybe like that it would even be possible to mix dinosaurs, and that won't most probably be possible. Of course, you can maybe play the game next to each other at the same time. I don't know. But that's so much stuff. You also have to see that not many people will be able to do something like this with their brains, right? It will be quite hard. So at the moment, we fully focus on this. It will be this expansion and the additional species, maybe some more species thanks to stretch goals, and then Zoo Tycoon will be completely finished. So also when you support this campaign and get everything, you have everything. There will be no more content for these games, right? It's a finished story, like we did with Darwin's Choice, right? We did exactly the same. One base game campaign, then one with expansion, and that's it, right? So then you have everything and all the animals. And then there maybe, if it's a successful campaign and we still see there is a lot of interest for dinosaurs, maybe next year you will see something interesting for you. So that's everything I can say for the moment. So I think that's the preview page. Yeah, maybe I can share this with you before the campaign, but you also have to see it's also something that I don't want to leak everywhere, right? It's also good because maybe there are also some positive surprises or stuff inside there, right? And I just don't, I mean, you have to see if I already give you the preview link, and then you can, and there are already discussions going on and stuff and everything. Maybe I can share it with some selected people that I trust a lot. But you also have to see that this is a very crucial thing, that exciting thing also. And if this is already out and people are excited, but they can't do something, they can't pledge, it's also a bit of wasted potential for the campaign. So if we are a bit hesitant with this, it's not that we don't trust you or that we don't have trust in the campaign or everything. It's way more that the excitement, you want to have everything like at the peak at your launch, right? And you don't want to waste a single percentage of this excitement in the beginning, right? You just want to have everyone excited and ready, and but maybe I can share some screenshots. That's, for example, something I could do, right? Yeah. So but everything else will be locked until July 2nd. And yeah, I think that's the live stream. Thanks a lot that you joined us. Thanks a lot for your commitment and your involvement, which is highly appreciated. And we will see each other on Discord again. And then very soon the Kickstarter campaign will launch, and finger crossed that it will be a good launch, but we are quite confident. So have a great day and a wonderful weekend. And if you are a soccer enthusiast, have fun with the European Championships. Perfect. So Samuel, you also have to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye.